Welcome back to another episode of the His and Her Money Show with America's #1 money couple. I'm Talent.
And I'm Ty, and we're from hisandhermoney.com, where we're managing money, marriage, and everything in between.
Glad to have you all back here with us for another great episode of the show because we have another fantastic debt-free story that we want to pass along to you guys. Why do we do this? Because we want you guys to be motivated to know that there are people getting out of debt just like you so that you can start your own journeys to financial freedom. We're going to be talking with a gentleman by the name of Travis, and his story is incredible, and you're definitely going to be motivated by not only the fact that he got out of debt, but he outlines what he did to create this business so that maybe you can create one of your own. Let's check it out. Hey, Travis, welcome to the His and Her Money Show.
What is up? Thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys.
We are super glad to have you because you have an incredible story of debt freedom and you have quite a unique twist on how you were able to get yourself, your family out of debt. And we know that our audience is going to be super inspired after they hear what you did and how you did it. But before we get into the details of your story, can you just take a moment and introduce yourself to the audience and let them know what you're all about?
Yeah, definitely. Well, my name's Travis Peters. I have a blog and a podcast over at faithlifemoney.org. Basically what I do, and I teach Christians how to live a life of increase and purpose. And that definitely includes getting out of debt. I also have an online community called the Escape Your Day Job community where I teach these sort of things and I help people start their online businesses.
Awesome. We know that our audience is going to be super, super, super glad after they get done listening to your story. So a while back, though, you were in debt. You had quite a bit of debt that was attached to your name, but you successfully paid it all off. So how much debt were you in, and how did you come to being in debt in the first place?
Just the classic story. Probably about $30,000 in debt when my wife and I got married. We both had cars. We had credit cards. Just the typical. Owned 2 homes. I still own 2 homes. But at the time, it seems a little bit more of a stretch to do that. And the second home was a rental property. Not like we had 2 vacation homes or something. But it's just the classic story. I mean, when you go buy a car, what do? You go to the bank. You go get a loan. That's how I used to think. That's the typical way of doing things, right? You justify, you go, I need furniture, so I'm going to go put it on the credit card. And then we'll just pay it off as quick as we can. Obviously, that's how you normally think, but that gets you in the normal problems that everybody else is getting into, right?
Exactly. I mean, you hit it and you touched on it several points. Words like average, typical, normal. So that is the average, typical, normal way of thinking when it comes to money is when you need to go get something, you put some payments to make it comfortable so that it doesn't hurt you as bad. So, I mean, what was it? How did you get out of the normal way of thinking and have this mind shift or a different viewpoint of what you should be doing with your money?
Well, this is actually one of my favorite things to talk about, so I'm glad you asked. And I hope you don't mind. I can't help it. I'm going to preach a little bit. It comes out. I have no control.
Come on with it.
So here's where things started to shift for me. I realized, and I'm not knocking any get out of debt budget programs, but here's what I realized. Here's what God showed me. When people want to get out of debt, they typically go to a shrinking mindset, a decrease mindset. We need to cut cable. We need to go down to 1 car. We need to downsize our home, maybe live uncomfortable for the next 10 years so that we can save up and get something better. Right?
Correct.
That's what you hear. God showed me something different. And I hope this helps you. It takes just as much faith, effort, and strategy to decrease your way out of debt as it does to increase your way out of debt. So let me put it like this. Instead of thinking, how can I cut corners? Shifted it. How can I get more money? How can I increase my way out of here? Now, what comes with that is having I didn't take on any more debt. I'm in that mode where I was like, I want to get out of debt, do whatever it takes. And I respect that. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not knocking anybody's systems or methods because I do totally respect the people who get that mindset. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get out of debt. That's awesome. Like that, yes, that's absolutely right. But what if you kept that mindset and then added to it, how can I make more money? How can I increase my way out of these car payments? Increase my way out of this house payment, credit card debt, that sort of thing. So God showed me that. It takes just as much faith to be increase minded as it does to be decrease minded. And that gets me fired up. I can talk about this all day, but that's where I started going with it, right?
Hmm.
So I started saying, okay, Lord, show me what to do here. How do I increase? And I came across Isaiah 48:17. It says this, I am the Lord your God who teaches you how to profit and leads you in the way you should go. And profit spelled Profit, as in make money. I've looked up the Greek word. I've studied it out. It means I'm the Lord your God who shows you how to make money and I lead you in the way to go. So I stood on that scripture. Okay, Lord, show me, lead me in the way to go. And over the years, starting in 2010, he did. But that's how that journey began. That's how that mindset shift happened. And that's what I do at Faith Life Money is teach others this new way of thinking.
So yeah, that leads us right into it. For you, you got out of debt and you did it chiefly and primarily through what you were just discussing, how you had a different mindset of, okay, what are some ways that I can increase my income, bring in more income in order to eliminate my debt? And you did that through the means of creating online businesses. And now I know that for a lot of people, that's kind of a foreign concept. They think of, some of the multi-level marketing idea concepts, but I don't think that's quite what you're getting at. So for those who hear the term online entrepreneur, online business, and it's kind of unfamiliar to them, can you kind of break down what exactly that means?
Sure, absolutely. So another revelation I had one time was when we are, whatever you're in, wherever you're working, your profession, let's say you're in a day job right now and you're working in a cubicle, working for a big corporation, whatever you're doing, you've become an expert in that thing, right? You spend 8 hours a day there, 40 hours a week. They fly you out to manager meetings, you train, you learn, you're becoming an expert at that thing. All I did was become an expert at online business. So I took that same energy that people are taking it, becoming a retail manager at the mall, at Abercrombie or whatever. I took that effort, time, and energy and put it into learning how to make money online. I was excited about it, passionate about it. So my first business was actually my most successful business and still is. I've had ventures along the way that didn't do well, but my first one did. And basically it came at a time, 2010, just gotten married. My wife is at work and I don't really have a job. I'm doing odds and ends for people. And to be honest, man, I'm feeling like a bum because here's my wife going to work while I'm just like, all right, see you, honey. I'm going to try to do something productive while you're gone, right? I started reading The 4-Hour Workweek, which is a very famous book. A lot of entrepreneurs have started because of that book. Well, Tim Ferriss has some man, he's got some great points in there, some new ways of thinking. As I'm reading this book, all right, I came across a product that I wanted to sell, and had to do with the animal control industry. I'm reading this book, and I started doing what it said. I was like, okay, he talks about creating passive income, this new way of thinking that, hey, if you're entrepreneurial, your business doesn't have to have a storefront. You don't have to have employees. You don't have to go out and do all this normal business things. Mm-hmm. There's ways of doing it online. Long story short, I found out that people were looking for this animal control product. I found a way to purchase it. I found some websites like Alibaba.com where you can buy basically anything you can think of most things there in your office, your chair, your microphone, those stickers on the wall, that TV stand, they were made in China. But what I learned is you can access those places. You can go to these websites, get them yourself. So I became a middleman for this company, or a middleman for this product. I contacted China. I sent emails. I made phone calls. I reached out to them, and I realized the competition to sell it was very low. So I started making. I learned how to make a website. I'm not a techie background guy. I can't code things, but like I said, I took the time to become an expert at this. I watched YouTube videos. I read blogs. I taught myself. People got to learn how to learn. Okay,
I
so I
like
learned how
that.
to learn, and I said, okay, I can do this. Other people are doing it. I made a super ugly website. I didn't have any of these products in my hand, so I stole the pictures from other websites, copied and pasted them, and then just send out cold emails saying, hey, I've got an animal control product that can help you capture animals that are hard to reach, dangerous, wounded. With my new product, this can help you. And then a link to my website. It's in the back there. It's, like I said, super ugly, a little PayPal button. Well, believe it or not long after I started this, I just started emailing 25, 30 people a day, these cold emails. Day 3, 4, 5, I made a sale. I made a sale. Somebody actually paid me for my thing, right? And I'm ecstatic because my mind just opened up. It just realized, this increase, there's something to this increase thing. There's something to this making money thing. Well, as time went on, oh, and I'll tell you this, my first sale went as wrong as it could go wrong. And I think here's a lesson for you. This is almost embarrassing to admit what happened. So I get one of the products in finally. It took about 2 weeks to get it in from China, right? Well, I've got my customer over here. I'm holding her off. I'm emailing her. I'm saying, hey, don't get upset that it's taken so long. I finally got it in. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a box. I didn't have anything to ship it in. I didn't know what I didn't even think that far ahead. But I had just gotten married, and so we had gotten our housewarming gifts from the wedding, and I had a blender box, a blender, so from like Target, big old blender thing on the side. I said, this is about the right size. Put it in there, taped it up with masking tape because I didn't know what other tape to use. Send it to the post office. They were like, hey, do you want to buy the tracking number, the insurance? I said, no, just get it out. The lady calls me about another week and a half later, so it's been 3.5 weeks or so since she paid me, and said, I still haven't gotten it. What's going on? So I look into it. Turns out they had lost it. The package had opened up because my masking tape skills weren't there. The package opened, the product fell out, but they still had the flattened blender box, and they were kind enough to send that back to me. So here I am with an empty blender box, feeling like an idiot. This is where most people quit. This is where most people refund the money to the lady and say, I'm done, I'm out. But I knew just that making that sale, there's a little taste of victory that kept me going. So I call her. I let her know it was lost in the mail. I'm getting another one. I got to go back to China. It was probably 5 weeks. It's probably over a month since she ordered it that it finally got to her. Okay. But I made another sale, and then another sale, and then another sale. And I'm starting to say, okay, I need to ramp this up. I really need to learn more about this because there's potential here. Like I said, I learned to learn. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm listening to Smart Passive Income with Pat Flynn. I'm learning about this stuff. With the internet, everything you need to succeed is out there. Podcasts like yours. Like I said, I'm learning to learn. I needed information. Let's go get it. Let's go implement it. And things are going to happen. So fast forward, I start learning more about marketing. I'm getting excited about online marketing. I learn about Facebook ads. I learn about all these different things. I hired a marketing company to help get my product out more. And fast forward to today, that was almost 6 years ago when I started. But each year we've increased financially to where, maybe that first year we did 10,000 in profit. Second year we did 20,000 in profit. Now we're ramping it up. Now things are getting fun. Now we're getting into the 20 grand a month, up and up, not 20 grand a year, but we're getting into 20 grand a month where you can start to see something building, right? The key is, and my whole point of this is I got that increased mindset. I learned what I needed to learn, and I just took massive action. That's one of my skills, is I can move fast. And when it comes to business, that's a key. I'm a huge believer in launching your product, launching your business, your idea, and then tweaking it from there, right? You don't have to get it perfect. I had the ugliest website ever. I didn't even have a shipping plan. I shipped my stuff in a blender box, right? I made every mistake you could. I stuck with it. Mm-hmm. And then now it's paying off. And we're moving into big deals, big government orders. We actually today just got in the biggest order to date. And I'm talking like yearly salaries that people make in 1 month today.
Nice.
And I don't mean that in a bragging way, because God set this up. Mm-hmm. I got that increased mindset. I got those scriptures. And I just said, all right, God, show me what to do. He made all this stuff happen. I'm just the guy who said, all right, let's do it.
I think it's so important that you give that story ahead of time, because when you listen to like Smart Passive Income, that's one of my favorite shows, or Entrepreneur on Fire, that's another one of my favorite podcasts, and you hear their now, where they're at today, and it fires you up, and then you get a bunch of books, you listen to shows, you do your research, you find something, you put it out there, and it flops, and then you quit.
Yes.
But I'm so glad that you told the story of all the things that went wrong with your first order. And now look at what you would have missed out on if you'd have quit. And so it just goes to show that there is no get rich quick, but through perseverance, through the increased mindset that you talk about, that's what you use to fall back on in those moments of, those obstacles, those bumps in the road, to push you forward and to progress. And so I know there's a lot of people listening, and they're tuned in, and their wheels are turning. They're like, I don't know anything about animal control guns, but I really want to try this. So for somebody who's like, well, what do I do? How do they figure out something to start an online business with, or a type of online business to look into?
Yes, that's a great question, because I wasn't looking for that product, right? It almost fell into my lap. We could put it that way. So, and it's not my only business now. Now I have other ones that are generating incomes here and there. And let me tell you about one, and hopefully this will answer your question in the story. So I used to work for a local car insurance company, right? Some friends of mine owned it, very successful. They started out with 2 locations when I was hired on. I helped them grow it to 7. This is years and years ago. But we had a ton of fun in the process. We were building businesses together. And I noticed something. I looked at their website. And again, this was before I knew anything about websites. And it was horrible. It was really, really bad, and it wasn't doing them any good. I knew how important websites were, but I didn't know what to do about it. I grabbed a buddy of mine who did build websites, partnered with him, and I made a deal with my boss. I said, I'm going to have this guy build the website. Here's why. Listen to some reasons why you got to have a website. And I said, any new business, I'll make a deal with you. I'll manage it all, I told him. Any new business that comes in from this website, I'd like $10. And he said, yeah, that's great. It's a new income stream for me. I'd gladly pay you out of that, right? Well, I started learning. I learned about SEO, search engine optimization. I got this website built, and I learned how to get it ranked higher in Google. I started learning about advertisements, running things to it, learning about this stuff, because the more I invest my time and energy into it, the more I knew it was going to pay me. Well, quickly it started paying me. Not long. It was starting to pay me, $500 a month, then $1,000 a month, then $1,500 a month. Now, I don't work there anymore, but I still have a deal. I still help him manage websites, and I get paid $3 a lead now. But now that income is $3,000 a month, and more and more and more, and it's ramping up even more and more as well each month.
That's awesome.
So I tell that story because look at your situation, okay? Your listeners here. What what are you working in? What do you know about? What are you already an expert in? What is your hand already on? There's something there you know about that we can turn into a revenue stream. There's something, an expertise you have, right? So another example, because I help these insurance companies grow and get more sales through online business, Facebook ads, and things like that, I know what works. I've got a formula. I can take that formula and I can help other insurance agents. I can sell this formula. I can sell this online course. I can sell my consulting time. I can sell these SEO'd websites because I've already done it. I have an expertise in it. I've created a revenue stream for me. And that's what I want you guys to think about in regards to my story. I was working at an insurance company. I saw an opportunity. I put the effort in. I found a guy to build the website. Then I learned about websites. Then I learned about SEO. Then I read about how to convert browsers into buyers. What's the best way to get people to land on your page and type in their info and get a car insurance quote? I'm researching this stuff. Man, I'm putting work in. And I think everybody has something like that. Man, we're eliminating excuses. Don't say I'm not a website guy, because I wasn't a website guy. I learned how to do it, and it paid off for me.
That's awesome.
So that's what I suggest. Look at what you're working on now. Look at the industry you're in. How can we turn something there? There's something out there. There's an opportunity. Where's the opportunity?
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's real cool. And I think that people can use that and think and dwell on that. I think that gives them a chance to kind of reflect, because I think people don't give themselves enough credit. They don't think they have skills, abilities, talents that are valuable, but they really are. If you just, like you just said, be reflective. What are you doing right now that you could market online? So I'm curious, because I know that you coach a lot of people in this. You have a course that we'll get into later that kind of helps people that want to launch out into the online business space. Based on your experience in helping people, what's been some of the biggest mistakes that have prevented people from being successful at this thing?
Number one biggest mistake, they don't start. That's what I teach. That's like like I said, my skill is launching, is going, is getting after it. The number one problem I see over and over and over is people won't start. They're trying to create this absolutely perfect product, absolutely perfect website. They got to get it, I mean, just like a dream, and then they never launch. There's that fear of starting. Everybody has it. It's got to be overcome. That's the number one thing. They make it too complicated. They don't find they got to make it perfect. They make it too complicated. Sometimes I've run into people who overlearn. They've already bought a whole bunch of courses. They've listened to too many podcasts, when really we need to just start. Because once you start, you can tweak things. Things start to shift. You thought you were going down this path, realized, oh, all my buyers are over here. So like with Faith Life Money, right? I've got two demographics. I thought it was going one way, but then all of a sudden I got like kind of Pinterest famous. And all of a sudden now a lot of my readers, people I'm interacting with, my listeners, my course buyers, they are now 35-year-old women and up, which I'm cool with. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, let's help each other. That's awesome. But once I launched, things started to shift. I didn't know that was going to come. I didn't know that demographic was going to be there. But I'm out there. And because I move fast like that, you're allowed to tweak things and create that perfect product, create that perfect website. But now I know my audience a little bit better. So it's about 50% the Pinterest crowd and about 50% 25, 35-year-old, has kind of mixed. A lot of men, a lot of women. But it's people like you and me who want to get out of debt, know that there's something better out there. They want that increased life. They want to have something that they can get excited about in the morning. They want to wake up pumped, ready to go work on their business, knowing that, man, I'm not limited to a salary. I'm not limited to an hourly paycheck. My income is unlimited. All I got to do is work my business, and it's fun to do. And I think that's one of the keys is, and you can get passionate about it. Yeah. As you hear me talk, you can probably tell I get fired up because I can talk about this stuff forever. It is what I'm passionate about.
No, that's awesome. It's incredible. And I know that probably one of the big things that I would say attribute to a lot of people not starting is their current level of responsibility. So people will say, well, man, where am I going to find the time to do this? And so for that person who has a day job and then would like to pursue this online business at nighttime, on the weekends, et cetera, how do they strike that balance between the two?
Great question. I had a day job. I've been out of my day job for 2 years. So praise the Lord, best 2 years of my life. But the first 3.5, 3-ish that I was doing this, I was in the day job, and it was a demanding day job, and it was high stress, high level, the insurance company. And it is basically, I've listened to your podcast where people talk about, I've got that mindset of do whatever it takes to get out of debt. Well, I was willing to do whatever it took to increase out of debt. I was willing to do whatever it took. So it's cliche, and I know people don't like to hear, but I was getting up at 4 a.m. I still do. I still get up between 4 and 5. I've spent a little time praying, time in the Word, and then I get after it. Those types of things where it's like, I do whatever it's taking me. If that means I got to get up at 4. And just so your listeners know, it's 8:30, 8:13 on a Friday night right now. And me and you are working on our businesses, right? We're doing what we're passionate about. Most people are out, not. They're hanging out, they're socializing. It's Friday night. Who does this?
Right.
Well, I mean, to be blunt, winners do this. We don't have to do it every weekend, but we got to make some sacrifices so we can get those results we want, right? And so when you get that attitude, and it's you can get excited about it. Yeah, you might have to get up early, and you might have to stay up late, and you've got to put in some weekend times, but it's more than worth it because the results are there. I mean, today I took the day off for almost the entire day. It was a beautiful day here in Oklahoma. We ate out. My wife and I ate outside. We had a day date because we missed Mother's Day last week. So we scheduled our Mother's Day date today. So I got to celebrate her. We went to the movies. We hung outside. Then, it was just a great, beautiful day because we've taken so much. We've made sacrifices in the past. We put in that extra time. We've gotten up at 4 a.m. for so many years. And just so you guys know, when I talk about getting up early, getting up at 4, getting up at 5, staying up late, working on my lunch breaks, it's not meant to sound like it's a painful thing. Like it's oh man, if you want to get here, your life's going to suck for the next 3 years, but then it'll be awesome. It actually isn't like that. It was fun the entire time. Like I enjoyed getting up at 4. I looked forward to it. I'd go to bed about 9:30 or 10. That's plenty of sleep. Just so you know. Go to bed 9:30, 10, get up at 4, 4:30. That's plenty. And I was ready to go. Get my coffee, pray, get in the Word, and then get after it. That's fun, man. And I'm bringing my stuff at my lunch. You can bring your laptop to work on your lunch break. You got to do what you got to do. But you enjoy it. You're building something. You're working towards something. And you know that result is going to be more than worth it. So that's my advice. Man, I know we got kids. I know how time is. But other people have done it. You can do it too. And it's not forever. You just got to get in that hustle mode for a little bit. And it's worth it.
And earlier you mentioned a classic by Tim Ferriss, 4-Hour Work Week. I'm curious, are there any other book recommendations that you would give somebody who desires to learn more about entrepreneurship and that increased mindset that you keep telling us about?
Really the only two that like totally shifted the way I think is the 4-Hour Work Week and Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was the one that kicked it off for me. But other than that, I've read a lot of books, but I would actually say, man, I don't know if this is popular with your listeners, but let's be 100% honest. I listen to a lot of Kenneth Copeland. Man, that guy he is amazing. But mixing scripture, and he talks a lot about business. He talks about increase. He talks about success and using biblical principles to reach it. And I want to stress that to your readers and listeners is this life is more spiritual than people give it credit for. So when I use the words hustle, I actually don't know if I even like that word actually. When I use the word hustle, I'm not meaning I'm go out and I just try to make anything happen. I'm just trying to make stuff happen in my own effort, my own strength, right? That'll wear you out. That's going to kick your butt. That's not how I work. When I say hustle, I just mean I get after it and I go hard. Okay. But these business ventures that have come my way, when I took the time to stop, to pray, to get in the word about them and ask the Lord, remember Isaiah 48:17 I shared at the beginning? I'm the Lord your God. I teach you how to profit and I lead you in the way you should go. Not every opportunity is a way I should go. There's been a ton of business opportunities and ideas. I got ideas all the time, but I'm not supposed to do all of them, right? So I take the time and get direction. What am I supposed to work on right now? What do I need to be putting my effort into? And then I hustle. Then I get after it. Then I go hard on it. And that's what I want you guys to get. If you guys do feel like you're called to be an entrepreneur, if you are inspired that way, I'm not saying you go out and you just try every single thing. Go back to what we started with. What's in your hand? What do you know? What are you an expert in? And I found that most of the people I talk with and coach, it is something, their business that they spin off and do has something to do with something they already know or passionate about or excited about.
That's awesome.
I don't remember exactly what your question was, but I hope that answered
No,
it.
you hit it right on. You hit it right on the dot. Now, talk to that person as we wrap this up that has heard everything you've had to say, but they got a little bit of doubt about their ability to be successful at this online business world. They're not sure if they have the makeup, the ability, the wherewithal to be successful at it. What words of encouragement can you offer to that person right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I hope in a way you can kind of look at my story and see, hey, if Travis has done it, anybody can do it. Like that's what I want people to think when they talk to me, because I don't have an entrepreneurial background. No one in my family. I come from a great loving family, but none of them are business mindset. They don't think that way. You know, I remember my mom telling me when I was young, she's like, look, Travis, part of life, you're going to get a job. You're not going to like it, but you do it because you love your family. And that's how you take care of them. My dad spent his last 25 years of his life working a corporate job that he hated. He did it to provide a good living for his family. He loved us. But he told me it was the most soul-sucking time of his life. He's retired now, and now he's living the dream. But man, he hated going to work. And so that's my background. I'm not a website guy. I don't code. I don't know any of that technical stuff. My word of encouragement for you is if this is something that you get excited about, and I think people with the entrepreneurial spirit, they know it. They're the ones who always have ideas. They always see opportunities that other people don't. And they're the ones who are always dreaming. You're at your day job and you're dreaming of something else. You're wishing you were somewhere else, doing something else. A lot of those people who have those thoughts nonstop, those are the entrepreneurial spirited ones. Those are the ones who need to be doing something entrepreneurial. And I'll say this, as a Christian, being an entrepreneur is not for everybody, but I think, and I can say this with a strong conviction, I think it's for more people than most realize. Like, I think more people are supposed to be entrepreneurs than are doing it, for sure, especially in the Christian world. I think we've got a mandate on our lives to make a lot of money so we can give a lot of money. We're here to help people. And the people who create wealth, they control things. So let's do it as Christians, right? Man, let's help a lot of people. Let's bless a lot of people. Let's us be the ones who are building businesses and employing people. That way we can do it in a way that honors God from start to finish. Man, let's go out and let's go start a bunch of orphanages. Man, let's go do these kinds of things, right? We've got the power to get wealth. Deuteronomy 8:18. Hope that'll encourage you. It says, remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the power to get wealth. And he finishes that scripture by saying, I did that to establish the covenant I made with your ancestors. And not to get too deep on you, but he's talking about Abraham, the blessing of Abraham. Later on in Galatians, we learned that the blessing of Abraham, if you're a Christian, if you're in Christ, everything God promised Abraham, belongs to us. That means we've got the power to get wealth. So let's go use that power. And I think that's one of the scriptures that helped me get out of that decrease mindset where, and again, I'm not knocking anyone's strategy, but the thought of when money was tight for us, the thought of cutting cable didn't cross my mind. The thought of selling a car, going to one car didn't cross my mind. I never thought that way because I just thought, I've got the power to get wealth. My Lord teaches me to profit. Let's get up out of this. Let's increase our way out, because when you do it that way, you've got extra to give. I can be blessing people. We never, ever skimped on tithing or being generous. We've generous. One of the confessions I've had from my family since we were married is that the Peters will be known for their generosity. That's the reputation I want.
That's
so
awesome.
My wife and I, we kept that reputation going even when times were tight. But I'll tell you this, times were tight, but it wasn't for very long. When we kept that increased mindset and we never stopped tithing and we never stopped giving, we got out of there quick. And I will venture to say that will be the same for any of you listening to this. Man, stay strong. Stay in the Word. Let God lead you. Don't stop tithing. Don't stop being generous. That's the life you want to live anyway. You want to be a generous person. A lot of people will say, well, once I pay off my debt, once I've got a business that's making 20 grand a month, then I'll be generous. No. I paid off debt and I got a business that makes 20 grand a month because I started out generous. Okay? And I know I'm getting deep and preachy on you guys. That's
incredible.
What comes out of me.
That's good stuff.
It's the Word, so you can't argue with it, right?
Absolutely.
So that's my word of encouragement for you guys, man. Be generous now. Start living that life now. That's what you want wealth for. You really want wealth, not to stack money in your bank account, but you want to bless people. You want to help people. You want to pay off debt for your friends and your family. So let's start thinking like that, living like that now, and it'll get you out of that tight spot into that abundant life you want.
Great words, Travis. Great words. So go ahead and tell everybody more about your awesome site, faithlifemoney.org, and about all the incredible resources that you have available.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's where you can reach me. That's where I'm most active, faithlifemoney.org. I've got a blog, I've got a podcast. I'm teaching these lessons of faith, finance, increase. One of my most popular sections is my income reports, where I tell people how much we made that month and then how we made it. I don't do that to brag. I do that to inspire. I remember when I first started getting into this, Pat Flynn, he would post his income reports, and man, it would get me fired up.
Yes.
Because I would say, like, Pat's my age, so I'd say he can do it. Yeah. I can do it. He's a great guy to look at as well. So on my site, I've got lots of free stuff. Free courses, free lessons on the increased mindset. But my most popular thing, I've got an online course that teaches you how to basically start your own online business. And what we have now is called the Escape Your Day Job Community. So this includes my online course that teaches you from start to finish how to find your idea, how to source your product, and I mainly teach what is called drop shipping. So drop shipping is one of the easiest ways to get started online. Basically, what I was doing with my animal control product, I had my website, I'd make a sale, then my supplier in China would ship the product straight to my customer. I've got no inventory on hand, I have no risk because I used the customer's money to buy it, and then we ship it straight to the customer. It's the easiest way to get started, in my opinion, and I teach that there on Escape Your Day Job. So that's my goal. If you feel called to be an entrepreneur, if you're looking to have this increased life, head over to Faith Life Money. You're going to see tons of opportunities. Get on my email list. I send out very valuable lessons and strategies. It won't bug you. You will be excited to open your emails. I'm very transparent. I'm very open because my goal is to help people.
And that's awesome. Now, will they also find on the same website your course information?
Yep, you'll see it on there. You'll see Escape Your Day Job.
Awesome.
Click that. You'll get a free course, and then you'll get more information about the community. Community is great because you have access to me. We ask questions. We all help each other. Everyone in the community helps each other with each other's business ideas, hold each other accountable to next steps. It's a ton of fun.
Awesome. Travis, we surely appreciate you coming on the show today, sharing all this great wisdom and insight with our audience today. We know they love it. We know they're fired up. So we really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come on the show today.
Hey, I had a great time. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Wow, incredible, incredible, incredible. I love the fact how he went to prayer with this thing. Like,
Yeah.
he was at the point of, like, I cannot figure this out. Like, I don't like the way this feels. I have a wife, I have a family. Lord, what do I need to do to become debt free,
I love
to
that.
become independent? And the Lord dealt with him about increase, right? Not just decrease in expenses. Like, we love that. But that can't be all that you do. You got to start to think about the increase mentality. How can I get more income into this house? Because a bigger shovel allows you to dig your way out of debt that much faster. So we hope that Travis's story serves as an inspiration and a motivation for you to get up off the couch and into the race to financial freedom.
That's right. As a matter of fact, get up off that couch and grab a free book that we have for you called 8 Essential Steps to Getting Out of Debt. All you have to do is go to hisandhermoney.com/8 steps. That's the number 8.
Well, guys, that's it for this time. It's been great. Till next time. Peace.
Bye.